Maine has a number of beaches along its coast. Often, they are great places to spend a day, enjoying the cool breeze and the refreshing waters of the ocean. Today, we travel to Cape Elizabeth to hear the tragic tale of a lost bride on a beach in Maine. Episode 19, Crescent Beach, Cape Elizabeth, Maine. Cape Elizabeth was put on the map all the way back in 1592. 75 years later, it was more intensely scouted out by Samuel de Champlain and John Smith. It was even named in honor of Princess Elizabeth, sister of King Charles I. It was incorporated as a town in 1775. It is currently a suburb of Portland and home to 2 lighthouses. Today, though, we'll be focusing on Crescent Beach and the tragic tale of Lydia Carter. Welcome back to Stranger Maine. Today, I bring you a very tragic tale of Lydia Carter that ends right here on Crescent Beach in Cape Elizabeth, Maine. Now, Lydia Carter was born into a wealthy family that lived in Portland. They originally came from Plymouth, Massachusetts, moved up to Freeport before finally settling in Portland. In 1807, Lydia was 23 years old and was very excited as she was engaged to be wed. And much like most young people, that excitement meant lots of preparations for such a grand affair. When you were well-to-do and you had some money to spare, you did things in the late 1700s, early 1800s. You could afford a nice wedding dress, which is what Lydia really wanted to have. Now, the dress she was going to have customized and fitted for her was in Boston. Today, that's not that big of a deal. You just get in your car, grab a train from the Amtrak, you head down to Boston, you'll be there in a few hours. Well, in 1807, it wasn't quite that simple. You either had to travel by horse across the roads, which could take a matter of days to get there, or perhaps you charter a ship and you take one all the way to Boston Harbor and make your way back to Portland. So Lydia's family chartered passage on the schooner Charles. 16 people of her wedding party plus the crew, so about 21 people on board the ship. And they took off from Portland Harbor, headed down to Boston. Now, for the most part, the trip was relatively uneventful. Nice summer weather, easy travel. Unfortunately, as we know in Maine, the weather doesn't always stay that way. The tragedy starts there. This is where I'm going to tell you about it. As the night got dark, a fog and storm rolled in after midnight. As they approached Richmond's Island, the ship struck some rocks, ripping a hole in the hull. As it started to sink, the bottom of the ship was ripped away, causing the water to rise rapidly within. The captain and 3 of his crew attempted to swim the short distance to the island, but turned back when they heard cries from the ship. Sadly, they were no match for the might of the waves. Most of the passengers were lost that night, including Lydia Carter. The story says that her body washed up on Crescent Beach, near a crate containing her wedding dress. Now, you would expect to hear tales of her roaming the beach as it was where she had washed up. But strangely enough, most stories involve her haunting a nearby inn. Tales from workers and guests have the phantom bride appearing in unexpected places. She supposedly likes to ride the elevators. They will go for rides with no passengers that others can see. Lights are turned on in unoccupied rooms, making guests think that someone had come in when they were gone. There have been a few sightings of a woman walking alone at night on the beach, but oddly enough, she doesn't leave any footprints in the sand. Is Lydia's spirit looking for the friends that she lost that night? Who can say for sure? But with her grave nearby, perhaps she is looking for some type of companionship, now that she is a ghost. So it leaves the question we always ask. Is the story true? Is the spirit of Lydia Carter still trapped here on Crescent Beach, meeting her end out there in the waves and being pushed ashore with her wedding dress? Might be enough to cause someone to be trapped here for all eternity. Purportedly, she also haunts a nearby hotel. Now, I've not stayed there, and I've not seen anything here in the brightness that would make me think that these stories are true, but who knows? If you really like to look at the place, and you should, this is beautiful, Crescent State Beach Park is available for a small entrance fee. So come on down to Cape Elizabeth. So what do we learn from this story? Well, despite Maine's amazing maritime tradition, the ocean, still pretty unforgiving. Always be cautious, because you never know when a really nice day can turn into a tragic one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.